Peace and blessings, everyone. This is Tandalea Ajay, and I want to be nosy. Let's do a celebrity reading, right? So today we're going to do Remy Ma and Papoose. All right, we're going to be nosy. We're going to take a look at their charts. We're going to see what's going on in their relationship, how they relate to each other, and those type of things. All right, you ready? So let's get started. So when I pull their charts up, because I'm nosy, and if the information that is found online is correct, Remy Ma's birthday is May 30th, 1980. Papoose is March 5th, 1978, both born in New York City. Now, of course, since we don't have the time of their births, we wouldn't be able to tell like their rising or really their charts, their the houses. So we're just going to take a glimpse. And just even with the information that we have at a glimpse, it's enough to see what exactly is going on. All right. So right off the bat, we see that Remy is a Gemini Sun, Sagittarius Moon, where Papoose is a Pisces Sun, Capricorn Moon, right? So let's take a look and see exactly what is going on with them. Now, just off top, Gemini Suns, they are very outgoing, all right? They are very social, all right? They have the ability to adapt to their environment, the conversations that they're having. What is said about Geminis is that they know a lot of different topics and things like that, but they don't master any. All right, and that's just the overall energy of the Gemini Sun. All right. Now, another trait with the Gemini Sun is that communication skills, right? We know that Remy is a dope ass artist. We know that, right? So those are some of the things that a Gemini and Sun would have, being able to communicate very well. All right. And when you have the Sun in Gemini, you're able to write well, uh, speak well. A lot of people have very good uh, speaking voices, so there's that. Then also with the Gemini Sun, um, there is a restlessness, right? There's a restlessness that Geminis just carry, right? They get bored easy. They stay restless. You know what I'm saying? They don't do long term commitments, or they're not top on the list for having long-term relationships because they're constantly seeking that new experience, right? That they need that stimulation to keep going, right? And then we have one of the negative, or say shall I say challenging traits with a Gemini Sun is that they're considered to be kind of superficial, right? They like staying on the surface. They don't like getting too deep. They that's just not really their thing. You have to be kind of really special in order to kind of dig that out of them, right? And they also exhibit like being inconsistent, right? And because of they're able to see both sides of the coin or both sides of the story, there's a level of the indecisiveness that comes with them, right? And with that indecisiveness, not being able to make a decision, sometimes they're looked upon as liars or having two faces or along those lines, right? So those are just some of the traits that goes with the Sun and Gemini, right? So that's the energy of you know Remy, right? Okay, so let's take a look at some of the energies that surrounds the Sun in Pisces, right? Now we move over to Papoose, right? All right, now we know that the Pisces are like empathetic and compassionate, like they care about everybody. You know, they can feel everybody's feelings, they really connect with the deeper side of themselves, right? Okay. We know that Pisces are very creative. They're like not of this world creative. And if anybody kind of knows anything about Papoose, Papoose is really creative. He is, a dope ass lyricist as well, right? And so the Sun in Pisces, they have this ability to create things that nobody has ever seen, and just out of the world experiences or creativity, right? And then, water sign Pisces, they are intuitive, right? So sometimes they just know, right? And that intuition helps navigate them through life. Now, some challenging things with the Sun in Pisces is that they do like to escape, right? Anytime they're stressed out or anytime, things are just a little bit rough on them, they will dip out, whether it's mind, body, soul. They have a tendency to abuse substances because they, have a hard time confronting, especially the harsh realities, right? Another thing with the Sun in Pisces is that they sometimes have it's a challenge for them to set boundaries, right? And I think it's because their nature is it's very spiritual, it's very fluid, it's a water energy, right? And so sometimes they can be over accommodating to others, and we all know what that takes. What happens with that is that people can take advantage, right? And with the Sun in Pisces, they have the energy of being indecisive too, right? Because they are influenced by their emotions, right? And sometimes their emotions can cause them to take a long time and it just to make that decision. Because again, they do feel people, they don't want to hurt people's feelings and this, that, and the third, right? So that's just kind of the the overall um, energies with the Sun and Pisces, right? All right. So now let's look at Remy. All right. All right. Now we talked about her Gemini Sun. All right. So she might have a couple of sides to her that we, the public, may not see, right? She may give mixed messages sometimes because that's just the energy, right? All right, and with that set with the Sagittarius moon. Okay, so with the Sagittarius moon, all right, um, people that have this energy, they are they're free flowing. They like independence. They like a certain amount of freedom within relationships, right? Because it's very important for them to maintain their autonomy within that, right? So they need a certain level of personal freedom, right? So do they have an open relationship? That is one of the energies of the age of Aquarius. We don't know, right? All right. So with Moon and Sagittarius, they overall have an overall optimistic view on things in life. They're gonna take the high road. They're gonna give you, where other signs may give you the more dark approach. They're gonna look at things from a optimistic view, right? The moon of Sagittarius, they can also be very honest and blunt, right? And it's not that they're trying to be mean or anything along that line, but they don't believe in beating around the corner. They want to give it to you straight so you can know exactly where they come from, right? And they don't really have a whole lot of patience for like games and stuff like that, which is interesting considering we have the Sun in Gemini, all right? All right. Now, also with the moon in Sagittarius, now mind you, the moon is emotions, it's feelings, it's all of that, right? And so with the moon in Sagittarius, they also have a tendency to be restless. All right. They like change. They like to explore. They like to, you know, move about, as well as because that freedom, they kind of want to move around. They want to do their thing. They want to explore. They want to learn. They want to do all of this. They don't really like restrictions, right? Because you can't move as freely as you like with that, right? They like a sense of adventure. They like Sagittarius is about adventure, right? They like new things, new excitement, right? And then they also, they like their time alone, right? They go out, they do what they need to do, they make their money, they do their business, and then they need that time to reflect, right? So that's the energy that Remy is kind of walking with, right? So we already know off top that Gemini sun needs a level of independence, and that moon in Gemini needs a certain level of independence, right? And so that is very interesting that you're dealing with when you're dealing in a relationship. Now, of course, other things have to be taken into consideration, other aspects that we're not going to go into this video. But the charts really do uh, tell a lot of information about that person. All right. When doing partnership readings or couples readings or compatibility readings, we also want to take a look at Venus, right? Remy's Venus is in Cancer, right? And Venus is what uh, uh, it is your expressions of love, how you like to feel love, how you like to give love, receive love, all of that, right? Her Venus is in Cancer. So we know that cancers are moody, okay? So we're dealing with a level of moodiness. But, Cancer, when you deal with Venus, you got your love language, beauty, um, uh, things that bring about luxury. Then you have Cancer, which is a nurturing love. Okay. They like that close knit experience, right? They want that emotional connection with who they're with. They like their home to be comfortable and beautiful. They do have an energy of loyalty and commitment, right? Because they love that they want to be dedicated to their partners, right? They want to invest that time, that energy into their partners, into their homes, right? Because they're focused on their homes, right? And they want to, like I say, be like spiritually, intuitively connected with their person that they're with, right? That's one of the things that they like. All right. And then we need to take a look at the challenges or I should say, the energy with Mercury. All right. Because that's one of the aspects that I look at with the couple's charts. Now, with Mercury, mm, that is going to kind of dictate how she communicates, right? So, my first thought when I saw Gemini and Mercury and Gemini, is that she might not always tell the truth, or she may be very creative with the truth, or the truth may change according to the circumstances, right? So, that is the energy that I see with Remy. Now, we know that Remy, my opinion, she's absolutely beautiful. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's very talented. She's very clever with her words, right? But what we may not see from the public standpoint is that there is a certain energy that she walks with, that she wants a level of freedom, that she needs a level of freedom to be herself, to express herself. to explore life and gain wisdom. She needs a level of freedom to do that. All right. All right. Let's move to Papoose. All right. Now, Papoose, we talked about the Pisces sun, right? We talked about that Pisces sun, and how Pisces, they connect with who they're with. They feel the energy. They want that intuitive connection. They very creative. Not surprising that he's known out there for being a creative writer or what have you. Um, and we talked about the fact that Pisces can lack boundaries. It can uh, let people walk over them. Also, Pisces have the tendency to look at things through rose-colored glasses. All right, so they especially in relationships, they tend to see their spouse in a way that is romanticized and idolized, and they may see things that may not be there. Okay, so we talk about, we move to his moon, right? He has Capricorn moon, right? And so with your Capricorn moon, the Capricorns, they are very disciplined, very reserved, right? So he preserves or presents a certain level of emotional reservedness, right? Which is interesting considering they said that he whooped up on the boy or the young man that she is said to be messing with, right? Because that whole story. With Capricorns, they do have this level of responsibility and commitment, right? And they have this thought process. If they're in a relationship, they want to provide that security and that stability to their partnerships, because once they're in it, they commit. They're in it for the long haul. Something typically has to happen really bad in order for them to like call it quits, because they really are committed to that. I recently heard that Papoose, when Remy was in prison, but I think for 6 years, everybody said he held her down. He held her down. I heard that he actually moved closer to the prison so he can, visit her. Often he could be that stability that she needs. Practicality. That is something they're going to think things through. It's going to be solid. It's going to be solid because they function with grounded material. You know what I'm saying? They they are committed to traditional values, very goal oriented, and like I said, they are able to show a level of self control, and it doesn't mean that they're not expressing or they're not experiencing emotions. Is that they're able to they're able to keep it in check, right? Because they're so disciplined, they're ruled by Saturn. So because they're so uh, disciplined and orderly, they may have challenges expressing themselves, right? Right now, with him having that Pisces energy, you know what I'm saying? What it's telling me is that he may not be able to express it in a way that she can relate to, right? Right. And we're going to talk about their aspects together, because right now we're just doing individually, right? Right. So, so there is a disciplinary energy that comes with that Capricorn, that moon in Capricorn, right? And when they make decisions, they're gonna make decisions that make sense. They're not gonna go off emotions. It's gonna have to make sense. It's gonna be calculated and thought processed out to the T. All right. So let's see here. So then we have his Venus. his Venus is in Pisces, right? All right, so with his Venus in Pisces, remember Pisces or Venus is how you express love, how you want to receive love, right? And so Pisces again, they can see things through rose-colored glasses. So how he's seeing the relationship may not be how it actually is, right? He may be up in his head and with the Capricorn energy, thinking it through, and then reacting as much as he can from that Pisces standpoint, but he may not be seeing things as they are. You know what I'm saying? Uh, the Venus and Pisces, they require emotional depth. They need to connect with their person on a very, very close basis, right? They need that. They need that because and they need their partner to experience what they experience, like the visceral feelings that they feel about their relationship and their partner and their love. It's important that their partner feels the exact same way. And the thought process is that because he has his sun and his Venus and Mercury, he may not be seeing things as they truly are. He may be seeing things as he wants to see them, right? Which goes down to his Mercury. His Mercury is in Pisces too. Pisces bring about illusions, right? So he may is with the Pisces and Mercury, he may not be speaking clearly to where she understands what's going on, or he may not understand what she's saying, right? He may not understand when she says what she says, what she means. He may interpret it, through a traditional thought process, but it may not be centered in reality, right? Okay. So that is their individual uh, uh, energies, right? Right. Oh, did I tell? Yeah. Okay. With Mercury and Pisces, yeah. So there, it may be like a communication issue with that because and sometimes he speaks in ways that she just it's like she don't really understand. Like, what are you saying? I think there's a mix up in communication sometimes, right? All right. So now let's take a look at their uh, how when you place their charts on top of each other, what it looks like, right? All right. So some of the things when I pull their chart, let me get their chart up in front of me. Okay. All right. So looking at their chart and basically what happens is that we take her birth chart and all her planetary actions and the energy that she works with, and we compare it to his birth chart and all the planetary energy that he's working with, and we combine them and evaluate how they relate to one another, right? Right. So one of the first things that jump out is the Mercury conjunct Jupiter, right? And they have a good time. This is the couple that they look the part. They do have like confidence in each other, and they have the same thought processes in life, right? There are some good qualities in their relationship, right? But with that Mercury squared Venus, all right, what the energy they may be walking with is that their tastes are different, right? Their tastes are different, and they may be trying to convince each other to understand their other's taste, or the fact that they didn't understand what the other one was saying. It's just the taste in that relationship can kind of like slowly chip away at that relationship. You also have the Mercury squared Neptune, all right? And again, like I said before, the relationship can be uh, centered around illusions, right? Because you're seeing one thing, it's not really what it is. Reality hits, and then there's disappointment, right? And so this couple has a hard time understanding each other because their tastes are different, right? Their tastes are different. Now, if they work on it, which is how they may have lasted this long, they're going to be constantly trying to clear up miscommunications, right? All right. Now, also have the Mercury opposing Saturn, okay? Again, another challenging aspect, right? Uh, it might be a lot of criticalness, right? I think Papoose may be a little bit too critical for her. That moon, that Capricorn moon, is going to be like the authoritarian, right? And then you got her moon that just kind of want to be free. She want to experience life. She wants to, just move about the country freely, right? And he's bringing all these rules. Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this? Well, what about that? And it's kind of like it's kind of stressing her out, right? Then we have the Saturn square Neptune. All right. Now, I think what's happening is that I believe that Papoose really does care about Remy, right? And I've said this before I even pulled up the charts, long, like years ago. I have always said that I believe that Papoose loves Remy, right? But I never saw that she return that exact same energy, right? And it could be, the Venus, the Cancer, what have you. She's Cancer, uh, Venus is in Cancer, his is in Pisces, right? And I believe that because it's not what he it's not what he feels or would like for it to be, there's a little bit of resentment there, right? There's a little bit of resentment because I do believe that she is, you know, she's being who she is in most regards, right? She is feeding into his delusion a little bit. She is feeding into that, right? And I think it's because she does care about him, but she also don't want to disappoint him. There's a level of not wanting to disappoint him, right? All right, so they encourage each other to better themselves, to challenge themselves, right? And with that Mars trying Uranus, they have a sexual connection, right? There's a sexual connection that they have. But I believe that if there is a breakdown in communication, that can be broken, right? They help each other to achieve their goals, aspirations, ambitions. He has been a great support to her, as whereas she has uh, provided him a lot of mm, positive energy within their relationship, right? And I think that because they do have that Saturn square Uranus, they argue. They are a beautiful couple, black love, hashtag black love, but they argue about freedom. You know, she she wants to be free, and he wants to live in this. It's kind of funny, this disciplined euphoric world, right? And there's things that he don't want her to do that she wants to do, and she's feeling cramped within this relationship. All right. Let me see what else. We have the um, Mercury trining Uranus. So, I mean, when it's good, it's good. So I'm not going to say there's not good times between them. They are amazing at creating. They're amazing at building. They're amazing at brainstorming. You know what I'm saying? They're able to come up with all they are what you call the power couple, right? All right. And so with that Mercury sextile Saturn, all right, uh it's like she I'm gonna say she appreciates she appreciates the intellect and the level of knowledge and wisdom and even protection that he provides, but she feels cramped. That Saturn is cramping. It's cramping who she is as a person. And then we have the Venus trine Uranus, right? And so that is a very favorable aspect, and I believe that that is what is keeping them together, right? And that is that there's a connection there. We can't deny that there's not a connection there. I personally don't believe that it is equal, right? But they do have a connection. They have a sexual connection. They have a sensual connection. They have a a sense of romanticism that they bring out of each other, right? But there are some challenging aspects with them. There are some challenging aspects with them. Um, Now, what I'd like for you to do is leave a comment below. But the question is, and we don't know. The only people that know what's going on between Remy Ma and Papoose is Remy Ma and Papoose. We're on the outside looking in. This is just a glimpse into what I see from an astrological standpoint. So we're just giving our opinions, and you just gossiping, doing some astro celebrity gossip. All right. So no harm, no foul. But comment below. What do you think? Do you think that, what do you think about their relationship? Do you think Remy stepped out? Do you think Papoose stepped out first? What do you think? Do I believe she stepped out? I believe there's a possibility, right? I believe that with that Gemini Sun and that Gemini Mercury, that and that Sagittarius Moon, all right, that uh she got a little bored. She may have, his overbearingness, his disciplinary energy that he brings may have been too much for her, and she needed an outlet. Um, I would not be surprised that if he did allow her to do certain things, I would not be surprised if he, has stepped out, or if they have somewhat of an open marriage. I would not, because I believe that he would do whatever he needs to keep her. I think it would be a stretch. That Moon in Capricorn is going to want to stay in tradition, but I think that he has enough Pisces influence that he will, yeah, he'll make the provisions, to his detriment, right? I do believe that she can be kind of picky uh, towards him because she does have a lot of Virgo influence. And I think that he can be a little bit, as sweet as he appears to be, because we don't know him personally, he can be probably a little bit misogynistic, right? So I don't know. I personally have a crush on Remy Ma. So, but at the end of the day, uh, I want everybody to be happy, right? And this is whether they're together, they're apart, or whatever the situation is. I want Remy to be happy. I would want Papoose to be happy. And sometimes beautiful things end. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is saying, oh, he held her down for 6 years. He held her down for 6 years. Well, they were married, right? Wasn't that what he was supposed to do? When does that debt end, right? I mean, she's out. I'm sure she appreciates that. But when does that debt end? I personally, like I said earlier on, I don't believe that she feels the exact same way about him as he feels about her. I do believe that she cares about him, that she loves him, but I believe that the love scales are definitely unbalanced. I also believe that she has she feels that she has sacrificed a lot of her life for him, because we all know that when she got out, she gave him a baby. He wanted the baby. She really did not want the baby. And you think about it, you're in jail for what, 6 years? The last thing you want to do is to be, strapped down with a baby. You know what I'm saying? That's even less freedom. So think about it. Uh, a Gemini sun, Sagittarius moon, freedom, was in jail for 6 years. All right, so refined. So she was like probably boiling over. She gets out, and now she's met with more rules, right? So, and I think that she did that out of obligation because he did hold her down during that time, right? I personally believe that if she had had the opportunity, not saying that she didn't have the opportunity, but if she didn't care for him in the amount that she do, if that V that her Venus wasn't in Cancer, I think that she probably wouldn't have stayed married or wouldn't have stayed with him. I can't remember exactly when they married, but I think that she would have um, separated herself. Unfortunately, now we are in the age of Aquarius, and the energy that has come upon a lot of couples is the what they're calling the selfish energy. Well, people are tired of being in relationships, and they're seeking their own way. They're seeking what makes them happy. Is this a case of that? I don't know. We'll have to see. You know, but it's very interesting to see how this is going to turn out. I do wish all parties involved the best. Nobody wants to go through, this. Um, but this is the energy that we bring. I believe they both could have stepped out. I believe they both. And if I had to pick, just with the energy that we have now, if I had to make a prediction, and this was is without looking at their actual with the birth time or looking at any transits, I'm not looking at any transits. I would say right now is probably not favorable. They probably are not going to end up together. But again, I want happiness. If they end up whatever makes them happy, positive vibes to all of them. All right. So that's all that we have for today. We talked about Remy and Papoose, couples reading, little Astro celebrity gossip. Comment below what you think. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit all of the notifications. Make sure you check me out, tandaleaj.com, and I will talk with you later. Peace and blessings.